Before we start an inquiry, it's always great to take a moment to tune in to what's going on in the mind and the breath, the body, just to notice what our experience is right now. And the way we human beings work is that when we have an experience, we carry that experience forward. So whatever it is that you were just doing before you started doing this practice, there will be at least some residue, sometimes a lot of residue, sometimes a bit. But everything that we do has an impact on our system. So notice as we begin what the environment is that you're in right now, both the internal environment and the world around you. Notice sounds in the room. If you have your eyes open, notice the colors and objects that you're seeing and how the mind classifies that, sorts it, names it. We have responses to what we see. And when we close our eyes, the visual field is still active. Only with the eyes closed, we're seeing more memories and visual images that the mind is creating directly. This is a boomerang inquiry, basically. The boomerang is when we look at something and we notice what it reflects back about us. And there's a very particular focus for this inquiry relating to expectations we have of other people and the bargaining that we often very subtly or unconsciously have around giving and receiving. So just those words have probably evoked some kind of a response in all of us. Some thoughts have come up, maybe some images of people, of some situations. So notice your body, notice your forehead, the jaw, the neck and shoulders. Relax the whole front of your body, the face, the throat, including your vocal cords, the large muscles of the chest and the stomach. And as you're paying attention to your body, also notice your breath and the energy in your body. And as we're moving through the inquiry, it's very helpful to touch back into the breath, touch back into your physical body. Notice that your feet are somehow connected with the floor or some part of the furniture or something that's supported by the floor. If you're in a chair, your seat is being supported by the chair, and then the chair is being supported by the floor. If we open our eyes, we can always have a look around us and ground back into the present moment and into the room. It's important to remember all the time, really, but especially during an inquiry, that what we're doing is looking at words and images and feeling, sensation. So bring to mind somebody of whom you have expectations. It could be somebody who's disappointed you, somebody who you feel frustrated around. Maybe it's even someone who's met your expectations. And whatever situation comes to mind is fine. We don't have to have the perfect situation. We're really just taking a look to see what it is that comes up when we look at expectations we have of other people. And let yourself fully bring the situation to mind, whatever one it is that you're working with. You might see an image of that person. It might be a visual, kind of a memory clip, a video clip of the situation. There could be words, energy. Start with just the visual component of it. Just look at whatever it is that's coming up in images. And if there are words coming up, you could put the words on the images like captions on a picture. And notice what comes up in you when you look at that situation. Notice if there's any energy in your body as you're looking at it. You've just tuned in to your body, so partly we're looking to see what's changed or shifted. Something that's arrived or gotten stronger, has disappeared. And then specifically look to see what is it that that situation reflects back about you and your expectations. It could be helpful to just notice what your expectations are of that person. Perhaps let the pictures move to the side for a moment and make a list as though you're seeing it on a page. I expect this person to be on time. I expect them to listen to me. I expect them to not yell at me, whatever it is. See if you can write a list of your expectations of that person. And staying in touch a bit with your body, with your breath, even as you're looking at and making this mental list. Notice that that's what we're doing, that your body is still safe and supported in the chair. Your breath is still moving in your body, and you're looking at this list of expectations that you have of another person. And notice the energy, if any, that's here in response to that process of making that list, of turning your attention toward that. So we may still have some visuals. There are words. And there might be energy or sensation. And there's your physical body that's safe in the room. You're breathing. This process of observing or witnessing that we're doing. And then once you have a few things on the list, it doesn't have to be exhaustive. Take a look at that list as though you're reading it in your mind's eye. And if you have more than one item on the list, notice which of those items have the most resonance. If you're noticing sensation in your body, which one is creating a stronger response? Or where is your attention drawn to? And let the others fade out for a moment and just pay attention to that one. And see if there's some openness to knowing more about that. Why is it important to you? This particular person or this particular thing? What is the underlying story or core belief that's being threatened? If this person doesn't meet your expectations. Or maybe it's that something positive or amazing would happen if they do meet your expectations. Maintain this awareness of your body and breath as you look. Why is it important? There's no right or wrong answers to any of this. We're really looking to see what is it that gives it this juice or this power or this trigger. Why is it important to me that this person fulfill my expectations? And what would happen if they don't? Where would I be then? And notice whatever it is that's coming up. And see if you can go deeper and deeper. Notice if there are any shoulds. Looking to see what comes up as we spend some time with this. What are my expectations? Why is it so important? If the mind wanders off, simply bring it back. Notice if there's an openness or a curiosity or a possibility of allowing this to be deeply looked at in this moment. And we will all have our own experience with this. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And if you get to a core belief, or if you get to something that feels like it's really necessary, there's a lot of urgency there. Notice how that comes up. It could be thoughts and energy. Most likely there would be both. Thoughts or pictures or words. So notice whatever thoughts there are about it in this moment right now. And take a look at the thoughts. We can hear sounds. We can also put words onto a mental image in our mind. We can see images. And as you pay attention to that, what does that reflect back about you? That you have an expectation of this kind. It may not seem reasonable to you to have that. It might seem kind of like, well, that's not the way it works. And keep looking deeper. What is underneath the surface that gives this so much power? And if you're looking at thought, words, or images, look to see if what you're looking at, if those visual images are you, a self who, whatever it is, the words that are coming up. Is there something about that collection of shapes and colors that feels like that's you? And then notice if there's a energy or a response in the body. If there is, as you're looking at that, then the answer would be yes, there's something about that that feels like that's me. Or perhaps as you're looking at it, it feels like there's something off about it, something that feels a bit threatening or of concern. And for a moment, if that's the case, look to see if what you're looking at, if that collection of symbols and shapes and colors actually puts you in immediate danger right now. Could the picture or the words themselves do that? And notice as well the energy and sensation in your body. Perhaps there's an area that gets kind of activated when this is going on, when we're looking in this way. Notice your experience, whatever it is, and notice the sensation. If energy is present, notice the dimensions of it, where exactly it is in your body. How big is it? What kind of edges does it have? Is it sharply defined or more diffuse? Does the energy feel heavy or light? And notice if you're feeling energy or sensation anywhere. Notice if there's any sense of malice or bad intention in the energy itself. If there is, look to see how it is that you know that. That would simply mean that there are words or thoughts attached to the energy in some way. Just the actual energy itself, the color, the heat, the cold, the density, the lightness, the actual energy itself. See if it's possible to pay attention to that for a moment. Let the words and images move off to the side. Notice your breath. Notice the stability of your environment, that you're supported here. We can always open the eyes if we want. Notice the space your body is occupying and where in or closely around that space you're feeling that energy. And see what that energy might want to say or reveal. Why did this energy show up at this particular time? as you're looking at expectations, either met or unmet. And what the underlying beliefs may be around that lends itself to whatever intensity's here. You could pause the recording if you're listening to this online and sit with the energy longer if you like. You could be looking at those images that might be coming up. For a few more minutes, sit with that experience. What are my expectations of this person or people? And why is it so important? And then, as an experiment, what would happen if you were to drop those expectations and let that person off the hook? Would you be okay? What would be the worst thing that could happen if your expectations weren't met by that person? Noticing what comes up can help us to feel into why this is so important. And what would it mean about you, if anything, if that person never fulfilled your expectations? And if something comes up, it's something that we could take into inquiry and really have a good look at. And then bring to mind a situation where your expectations were completely met, well above and beyond anything that you imagined. Notice thoughts and sensations that might come up with that looking. And what would that mean about you? What would that reflect back about you if this person completely met your expectations? Remembering to breathe. Remembering to pay a bit of attention, at least, to your body from head to toes. Notice the environment that you're in. Before we finish the practice, giving yourself permission to go back through the exercise again, if you like, and pausing while you reflect more deeply. If there's something that seems to be pulling you back, that would like a better look. And take your mind through the inquiry just for a moment. Notice what it is that you remember from the different parts of the inquiry. Let your conscious mind notice those and bring them forward. And notice if there's any distress anywhere in your body or your mind, if there's judgmental thoughts about how you did the inquiry or what came up. See if you can hold that in a space of kindness and compassion. That's a normal human response. And tune in again to your breathing, both the flow of the breath in the nose and the feeling of your body moving with the breath. And then open your eyes and look around, noticing again the colors and the shapes and the objects in the room. Noticing the energy in your body, thoughts in your mind. And if something's come up that you'd like to look into more, set an intention that you'll come back to it when the time's right.